Bullpup Unlimited, doing assembly video on the Bullpup kit for the Mossberg 500 shotgun. This is the way the kit will come in the mail. When you open it up, you will have the kit, a bag of polymer parts, and a bag of screw with your assembly wrenches are included. Kit will come forearm. You will remove the end cap, remove the front cap. At that point, the unit will come apart. These parts do fit tightly. In case you notice a small bow in the upper, that is the way it comes because it's such a large one-piece molded unit. But don't worry about it, it will work just fine. Before you start the kit, make sure your shotgun is empty. Double check it. This is a 6-shot Mossberg 500 shotgun. Stock and the forearm have already been removed as per Mossberg instructions. I've laid out a small white wash rag here on the table to empty my screw bags into so that nothing runs off and rolls off the table. Polymer parts bag. This includes the forearm, our 2 side rails, the optional rail that if you want to install a vertical grip, installs on the bottom of the forearm, front forearm support, and our 2 sling attachments. First thing you want to do is attach the forearm tube. This slides on. You want to pay particular attention to make sure your forearm fingers or your action rod goes well into the forearm. Make sure they both sides go into the little notch that's molded in. At that time, you'll put the forearm retaining ring back on. Be very careful to do this. It is a fine thread. It is very easy to get cross-threaded. So screw it on with your hand and all you need to do is hand tighten. It doesn't need to be any more than hand tighten. These are in there firm. Okay, after you get the forearm, our forearm tube tightened in place, you will install the barrel. You can check the function of the gun right now. Works fine. Now we're going to install the adapter block. This adapter block does fit very tightly. It's made for that. You will start the screw by hand. Make sure you don't get it cross-threaded. The Mossberg 500 has an aluminum receiver. You do not want to cause any damage to the threads. Using your large Allen wrench, which is provided, you'll tighten this up. As you tighten it up, you will see that the screw is drawing it in here. Do not overly tighten. Just make sure it's good and snug. Make sure that the safety finger on top of the adapter block is against the safety of the shotgun, and the safety cannot be moved, so if you drop it, the safety cannot go in the on position and disable your shotgun. Install the slide release lever, which goes in with the finger to the rear. This lines up with the slide release on the shotgun. Hold up the trigger rod. You will put the trigger rod in front of the trigger. Install everything in place. Your two inserts here should line up with the holes here. These are a button head screw. They should very easily screw in. At this point, we are not going to tighten these. We're just going to make sure they're in there good. Now we're going to go back with our front forearm support. Take our forearm. There is a notch in the inside of the forearm that this support locks into. We use a machine head screw in the front. I'm going to use one of our shop wrenches to just kind of speed things up for the video. If you'll notice, I just twisted that with my fingers, part of a turn. You'll now line the two rear forearm holes up with the forearm tube inserts. These are button head screws. Those are both in place. Now you can take and do a function test to make sure everything works. Taking the upper, we're going to install the side rails. Those go on with the little machine head screws. Now at this time you'll place the upper shroud onto the shotgun, onto the lower shroud. Make sure that the tongue and groove line up on both sides. There should be no gap. You will use your 4 long button head screws. Now all we're doing is starting these screws. We are not tightening them. We're just making sure that they are started and not cross-threaded. As you can see, I do not have these tightened in any way, but they are started. Now you want to press the rear of the kit together with your hand. Another button head screw, short one. That will line the insert up. If you over tighten or tighten up the 4 in the center, it makes installing this screw very difficult. So you want to leave those in, but you want to leave them loose. We are now tightening the bottom 2 good and snug. They don't need to be overly tight. Now we're going to install the front end cap. You will squeeze the upper and lower together. If your rifle has, if your shotgun has rifle sights on it, you will have to work the front end cap over the sight just a little bit. It will go down in place. Your 2 front holes will line up with the inserts. These are machine head screws. the same small screws you used to put the front of the forearm on. These are tightened good and snug. At this point, we will go ahead and tighten the 4 center screws up. As you can tell, I'm not over tightening these, but going into a stainless steel insert, they will hold just fine. After 50 or 60 rounds, you may want to double check just to make sure. Now we're ready to install the rear end cap. The 2 fingers go into the 2 holes of the lower. You will press the 2 detents in. When it goes on, it will snap on both sides. At this time, it is together and working. As I said earlier, the kit is provided with a forearm rail that attaches with the 4 leftover screws if you want to put a vertical grip on it. It also comes with 2 sling attachments. Depending on whether you're right-handed or left-handed, you can put these in from the right or left side. They work either way. The slot in the front and in the rear is for a 2-point sling. The slot in the center is for a single-point sling. So that's up to your preference. Other than that, we have a finished Bullpup 870 Mossberg 500.